Today we're taking a look at the Cyberpunk City me and my tribe mates are building on Extinction. We're using a bunch of different custom cosmetics to get the right vibes, but I think it's really starting to come together quite nicely. I've already made a video about this, the early phase, but now we've progressed a little bit further. I've been working on my own little alley, which is definitely starting to really come together and really come to life. And my tribe mates have been both working on their own path of the city, bringing cyberpunk vibes, the neon lights and everything together to get some really cool builds and most importantly, some really cool atmosphere here. So today we're going to go for a spin of the city. We're going to walk around, show all the different little builds we are working on, because this is still a work in progress. But I like to show you these in-between steps so you can kind of see how a build evolves over time. Hello there, survivors, and welcome back on Extinction. I'm right here at our Cyberpunk City, as you can see. So that is right over here on the map. It's underneath all of these buildings so that we have quite the cool layout to work with. And this is the entrance to my alleyway that I've been working on. And as you can see, besides some of the industrial vibes with the bunker cosmetics, I've also added a bunch of different vibes with the Golden Dynasty to get all these cool Asian inspired buildings. And of course with the Ultimate Sign collection, as well as the neon cosmetics to get a lot of these bright lights in there. And there's a bunch of different cosmetics that we've been using here. There's a lot combined actually, the crystal cosmetic, astral cosmetic, and probably a bunch more that I'll not remember off the top of my head. But as you can see, cool bright lights, we got billboards everywhere, we have fans spinning on the walls, we have some plants of ghosts growing on it as well, cool neon signs and everything, even some lanterns that are swinging in the wind, which definitely really adds a lot of life to the place. I really quite happy with the way that this has turned out so far, as you can see, and it's been really fun working with Golden Dynasty again. Hadn't built with that mod, well, properly built with that one for quite some time now, and it is definitely still one of my favorites. So yeah, this building is both a breeding facility right down here, as well as actually my personal quarters right up there. And you can also see some custom graffiti that's all made by my tribe mate, Mr. Wild Times. This is using the Scribbles mods, because then you can hide signs, but you can also upload images to them, so that way we can get some custom images in here, which is really cool. And that is my Rhino, which kind of fits the vibes. It's from the Shinies mod. It's like a shiny variant, which is definitely quite cool. So yeah, we have the breeding facility here. I really like this little view inside. I've got a dermis of Sir what's his name collecting my eggs and putting them in a nice pile. The eggs are from the wall and floor deco mod. Yeah, it's really nice way to just add some life to your builds. And the fact that you can even dermis these robots, I didn't really realize. I never thought about it, but I saw it recently in my Winter Wonderland build challenge, and I was like, that is perfect for the Cyberpunk City. So yeah, we have that little scene going on over here, and I'll probably use them in a few more situations. And don't mind the breeding. There's currently these big birds, which is one of the new mods that has recently released, that we've added to the cluster, and yeah, they are breeding in here, but as you can see, they do fit inside, so that's quite neat actually. So yeah, I have this little side building, of course, but I also have my televator up to my living quarters. Now, I have not done any interiors yet, but we do have some really cool little shark signs. This probably will just be a living room, enjoying some of the nice views here. And I also have access to the next layer, which actually still offers quite a bit of space. And then this is my bedroom, hence the offline sign, because that is where I go to be offline. And then over here we have one of those animating billboards from the Ultimate Sign collection, which is really cool. I've got my nice shark statue from the sculptures catalog, and yeah, we have a nice fan spinning up here. So this is the top of my building, which is kind of connecting to a lot of the layout and a lot of the street over here. We got some nice design going on here, which is by the idea of Mr. Chicken, which we'll see in a little bit. That quite a nice design language, and I like adding some elements of what my tribe mates have done in my street, so it all feels like it's all tied together that way, which is really, really cool. But yeah, let's go to the other side of my little alleyway. So basically, we're all working on our own little streets here at the moment, and this is my street. So we just saw the big breeding building, which is the end of my street, and then this is kind of the start of mine. So I have the salty squid, which is one of the signs from the Ultimate Sign collections that you can use on a billboard, and I decided to make that like a little bar here. So I have got some more signs lined up here. You can come here to eat. I just need to get like a little guy behind the counter here, and maybe get some kind of menu or whatever in here decorated a little bit, because this is going to be open, and it's connected up to Mr. Wild Times, who has been working on the street right next to mine. So this is already connected, which is quite cool. And then I'm also working on a little coffee shop over here, which is going to be Shark Bucks Coffee. And here we go, we have one of the baristas already hard at work here with a nice counter here. I definitely need to start adding some chairs and everything in, and this guy is definitely rushing to get your coffee ready. But yeah, we also have some really nice views of the rest of the city from here, which is quite cool, quite nice. This is going to stay that way because we're not going to go further outward from there, so that should hopefully always stay a pretty nice view. And then we also can go up here. There still needs to be, of course, interior and decorations here, but we also have like a little balcony terrace where you could have your nice coffee with a view of the rest of the city, as you can see, which is really nice. And then I've started working on the verticality in my street. As you can see, there's different layers, and then especially also these walkways crossing the different layers, which really helps. And of course, all of these little shops, again, some custom graffiti. We got more of these little bars coming down, and also we have an elevator here, so you can quickly go up to the top layer, which connects back up to my roof of my breeding building and my home. And then we have some like smaller buildings and shops that I have here. So one is opened, this one is closed. It's close, but yeah, you can see how much that adds to this, because it really already starts to feel like a street. I'll probably add one more building right here on the corner of the alleyway, so that we really have the whole street done, and it's going all the way here until the outside. And then we also have some of these ASR pillars that look like pipes, so they connect through the street and they kind of go everywhere, just to again add more interest and detail to the place. And probably want to still add a little bit to this because it still feels a little bit empty in the street itself, but I'm really happy already with the layers. I've just added these walkways in just before recording this, and yeah, I think that's going to be really nice. But also these smaller buildings, which are just facades built into the existing structure that was already here on Extinction. So it's just a few structures really throwing that together, but it adds a lot, trying to make this feel like a proper city place. And then over here we have a little staircase that we can use to get up to some of these different layers. So this one, first of all, connects up to the coffee shop balcony, as we can see. So this is where you could go and grab a coffee. And then we have another way to get up there to the next layer, but we can also take this staircase over here and go up to the next layer here. This is kind of crossing from one side to the next, so you get some nice views of the alleyway itself and some of the additions here on the building. I really like these glowy walls that we have, and there's nothing in that little addition to the build, but it does feel like something's going on the inside, which is really, really fun. And we have one of these cool walls again as a little bit of extra detail. Probably want to add something in here, but some of these vines have quite bad hitboxes. This one seems to be somewhat okay, so hopefully we'll be able to build just a little bit here to kind of fill in that corner. Again, this is where you could also come up with the stairs, and then this is the staircase to the next layer. We have another billboard over there too. So this is like the main upper layer where we have another street level. We have the big bridge crossing from one side of the street to the other one, to our big crafting hall that you can see over there. And then, yeah, on this layer, I still need to start adding the builds because I'm probably going to go up until that layer. So you can see this is basically the next street level that we'll start to build on. I've built a bit in that corner to kind of try and hide the ugliness near the vines because it didn't let me build everything I would like to. Because as you can see, there's some gaps here. But yeah, as you can also see, there's like invisible hitboxes here, which is really annoying. But yeah, that makes it a little bit harder. But at least the alleyway is coming along quite nicely. There is, you know, going to be some more layers, but it's definitely evolving. And so far, I'm quite happy with the progress. But any ideas or suggestions that you think I could add to my alleyway or the Cyberpunk City in general, definitely let me know. And I'm quite excited to keep continuing and working on this city because it's been really good fun so far. So then we have a bunch more, as you can see. Let's actually just kind of walk across the street here because, well, we're going to Neon City right over here. There is a lot of bright lights. And this is like the nightlife area. We have the disco here. Mr. Wild Times worked on this area. We have some dumpsters. Some of this was here last time, of course. We have the little noodle bar with the menu in there looking very cool. Oh, someone's already cooking us up some nice food in here. And then, of course, you have the nightclub over there with lots of people inside, as you can see. But yeah, it's nice and glowy in here. Proper nightlife street, but there's actually a lot of layers to this place as well. As you can see, it goes up quite high. In fact, there's already a whole apartment block up there, so we could take one of these stairs up to some of these next layers, and then we can see some more of the details here. Bunch of signs again. Also, these pipes coming across are quite cool, and then of course those buildings up there. But if we go over here, we have another little walkway. Well, I was here. I also left some graffiti of my own, but we have another little walkway, and you can already get a better view of those apartments up there. They're quite simple on purpose, but that kind of fits the vibe because, especially if you're living right above the nightlife street, you know, you're not having the best time. So it's cheap apartments, but it's really looking cool. There's also some more custom signs here, as you can see. We've got a little staircase up here, some more custom signs going on, and then we can get an even better view here of those apartment complex. And it's just a really cool addition, especially here with the fire escape here on the side, and then some of these bridges connecting one side to the other, really filling up this little alleyway. And you can already start to feel like you're in a proper city. Now there is going to be some other additions. We're going to start working on a monorail that's going to come through. This is a skin for the train tracks. We're not going to use an actual train on top of it. We're just going to build ourselves something custom, but we're going to have like different stations you could stop at just to kind of fill up the main street bit. And then we have this really cool walkway here in the middle that Chicken worked on. We have our crafting hall that you can see over there. Still a mess inside. We've still not cleared that up. And then we have, of course, the original alleyway that I worked on, which we'll do at the end. But then Chicken has been working on this area. We, of course, have the elevators to go up. So this is an easy way to get up and down from the different layers. And Chicken's been working on some really cool designs here. So first of all, we've got these lights that he designed, which are looking really cool. You can see some really cool lines in there. And then he's got a bunch of walkways as well as tunnels and stuff. And it's just all a really cool combination. I think there's one tunnel down here before we go any higher. Yeah, you can see there's a tunnel back here. It kind of follows underneath. And this is actually especially useful for people that play in the cluster, because this is how you can still get to one of these experience nodes, or these explorer nodes, which is of course good. So yeah, this is the entrance you want to go to if you want to get some experience here. if you're playing on our community server. But more importantly, he's working on some really cool things. He's got his apartment complex, which is where he lives. So we have a pretty nice building here and some advertisements again on the top. Really liking all of these glowy signs and the neon lights and stuff. And it's kind of the end of our main street, which is really cool. And then we have some other little shops here. So we have a little sushi bar here. We have the closed D because one of the sides we have only says close instead of closed. It's quite confusing, but you know, it's fine. It's a fun little joke now. And again, we have those cool lights coming here and kind of tying it all together. Really liking these food stands. And then up here we have, well, this was different. Now it's just a random cupboard in the middle of the street. That's probably not what he wants. We've got some graffiti and we've got some locked storage boxes here with the shutters, which is also a very cool look. And then he's got the walkways kind of slowly going up. I think the plan is to eventually connect them all the way to the main street, I'm pretty sure, but it's still an area he's working on at the moment. But as you can see, the city is growing and growing, and it's definitely starting to come together, and it's such a fun project to work on. It's a really fun style. Of course, it's not maybe the most practical ARK base. We're not really designing it necessarily in such a way, but it is a lot of cool world building that is going on here, which is really fun. And then it's of course the first little alley that I worked on originally. So this is behind the crafting hall. So yeah, we have the entrance there so you can fly into the crafting hall. Got a little greenhouse up there, and then we just have some buildings here to kind of build out this alleyway, which is quite fun. And then of course up here we have like a little flyer landing spot out here, but you can also fly in with your flyers carrying some gathering tames. I still need to set up some drop-off locations here so we can get it into the sorting system. But yeah, it kind of just brings you in to our base. Just a bunch of random crafting. It's still not organized here, but it's a lot nicer up here, where we have our replicator and everything. But yeah, definitely still needs some work, but you know, it's a lot more fun working on some cool little street, bringing life to the place. So yeah, we've been having a lot of fun. I hope you guys like the build as well. Let me know if you've got any suggestions of things we should definitely add to the place, and then hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you did, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any of the future videos and all the other videos that I post, of course. And hopefully I'll see you again in the next video or the next stream. For now, goodbye.